get it out of the middle, but it's a play on advantage to South. Madden fires it up forward. Caden Bryant grabs hold of it, has a airy, and it's rushed through for a behind to South. Rangers are going to bring it out of their back lines with Hatzamalis.
Yep, Hatzamalis undecided on where he's going to go. Picks the eastern side of the oval over to Max Bartlett. Good contest there. I think it's Camden Madden again. Bryce Marshall's off the ground. He's kicking it forward. Ethan Richardson. It's going to be a little bit fumbly out there for the start of the game, I'd say, especially with those scuds of showers of rain we had to go through. Their bench. South pushing it forward again.
There's a free kick given to Jake Horton of Lincoln South, so he's going to line up from about 40 metres out. Umpire sets a mark. Horton starts his run up. Kicks on its way, off to the side and through for another behind to Lincoln South. So I think it's Hatzamalis will bring it back in again.
This one's young Caleb Fielder. So Rangers been let off there a bit, and Fielder out to Paddy Ryan. Kicks long down the inside wing and Bryce Marshall flies, but can't mark it. Over to Leonard's Wells, who's roved it well, and Jake Horton's really hit the ball hard there. Paddy Ryan's done very well to get it out again, gets a hand pass. Kyle Turner comes in, Bryce Marshall picks it up. Bit of a chaos ball forward.
Picked up by young Ambrose, who takes it in. It's spoilt. The ball comes across to Leonard Wells, who snaps on his right, and the umpire's decided it's out on the full. So Rangers will bring it back in from the more or less the point post. Once the ball's returned, it's on its way now. South is setting up to try and keep it in. Marble Range have a few loose players, and it gets kicked to Casanova, who then passes over, and it's cut off by Zach Kenny, who's going to go back and have a shot from about 35 out, nearly directly in front, with the wind blowing slightly across the ground today, so it's not really up or down or favouring either end, but a lot of the play will probably be over on the other side of the oval today. So Kenny strides in, boot on the ball, away to the opposite side of the post for another behind to South. So Marble Range will bring it in.
Thanks, Benj. Yeah, this is back to young Hatzamalis. Kicking it out to the offside of the oval. Kicks to Bryce Marshall. There's a contest. The ball comes to ground. And Max Williams gets a big kick inside. Players set himself. Hatzamalis reads it better off the pack. And out to Jace Morgan. Bryce Marshall's got the ball now and he kicks it long outside. Will Charlton comes through and takes a strong mark from behind.
Come on, Rangers!
The Rangers streaming by. Oh, well done.
That was young Connor Marshall who pinched that, and he's found someone right up forward. Elijah Males for Lincoln South. He's going to have a shot on probably 60-degree angle here. Puts plenty of air on it up, but it's gone through. It's gone out of bounds on the full. So just a bit of poor kicking at goal at the moment, but we'll see how that transpires. It's kicked into Casanova, who runs around Madden, heads down the wing, and it's marked by...
Yeah, young Kyle Turner there, Benj, and he's kicked it into the man on the mark. And that's a good tackle. He's played on advantage there for holding the ball into young Wilkins at full forward. He's picked up the ball and given a good hand pass out to Max Bartlett. He's kicked it on and young Brady runs in, but I think this ball's going to beat him. No, he's kept it in. All right, little goal sneak there. Yeah, that was a great effort by Marble Range to transition that ball from the back line to the forward line, starting from Casanova and young Turner. And Price Marshall doing a really good tackle. Good hands there from young Pepper Wilkins onto Max Bartlett. And then an awesome finish by young Thomas Bradford. I think South have let themselves down a little bit there with the kicking for a start there, Ben.
Yes, they're getting the possession up in their forward 50, and I'm not sure if it's nerves or maybe that little bit of wind, but they're just not finding the big white post. So the ball gets thrown up again. Max, is it? Yep. Right. So the ball's still there in the middle. Bit of a high tackle. Late call by the umpire, but it's paid. So the elusive Leonard Wells will take possession of this free kick. He's got someone out wide on the flank, but he aims to go up the line where the ball's gone over and been picked up by Madden, who takes it forward. By Jake Horton. And there's been a free kick paid to Marble Range. Ali Bias kicks it out. It's cut off there by the South player who brings it back inboard, but it's cut off by the Ranger player. So we're out.
There's a contest on the offside wing and Tex Holman's got the ball. Does a bit of a check side inboard, but it finds Cameron Akehurst. Kicks it long straight into the corridor, which is a good place to put it, but great mark there by young Hatzamalis. He's been so good at intercepting those this year. Comes out wide to the grandstand side to Gil Casanova with a good pass. Attempted shepherd by a fielder, but he's actually put in his place. Casanova plays on, kicks it to Bartlett. Bartlett gets his hands onto young Josh Bradford, swings onto his natural left, kicks it in forward to Wilkins, comes to ground. And there's a great pick up there, and high tackle.
Connor Marshall's going to get the free for, I believe the umpire's paid a high tackle. Meanwhile, Marble Range manning up on the South players while the ball was given back to the player. Marshall goes out to the wing side and it's picked off by Marshall from Rangers, who kicks into just inside the 50, and it's marked by Ali, who plays on around the South player and has a shot on goal, and it's through for a minus score. So Tex Holman will bring the ball back into play. He's going to the CWA side with the ball. Passes off. Bit of a tussle there, and Rangers had the possession, but it's come out to South's possession, who goes forward, and Jake Horton again's marked just outside the 50, kicks forward to a lead by Caden Bryant, and unfortunately the ball went out of play for him, so the boundary umpire is going to bring the ball back into play in the forward pocket for South. It was a ruck contest and Marble Range come out with it. They play back and move it forward again. Meanwhile, it's been indisposed and Wells for South picks up, takes it forward. Zach Kenny had a try to get the ball and ended up laying a tackle by Akehurst, and South get a free kick on the opposite side, about the centre of the ground. Akehurst kicks a long kick up to the full forward line. It's come off hands and gone to Tyson Pratt for South, and it's rushed through for a behind by Marble Range.
So he had some Arlis to bring the ball back into play for Rangers. And again he chooses that bottom side over on the CWA side. Kicks it long, it's a good long kick. Contested, brought to ground. Marshall off the ground, but she's come off his boot and gone out of bounds. So Tyson Pratt's got a kick here, he's going to bring it back in. Umpire's holding up play. kick inside right on the 50-metre line. Turner and Wells go for the ball. It's come inside, but Paddy Ryan intercepts right in front of Duditz and cuts the mark off. Comes outside to Casanova. And Casanova, you know he can run. And he kicks it on the fielder, puts it out in front of him so he can run onto it. Good pick up, but a good contest too by the ball there from the South player. Richardson, good tackle laid there, and it's going to be a ball up by Sammy Newman. This has turned out to be a really good contest between these two teams. It's hard fought going from end to end. Max Williams and Max Bartlett go for the ruck. Young Brady gets it forward, but it comes back out through Cameron Akehurst again. Jake Horton and Price Marshall slips over at the wrong time, and there's a good tackle by a Rangers player. Ball's in dispute here, and the umpire's going to have a ball up here, just on the centre forward line of Lincoln South. Waste no time, gets up, the ruck's go at it again. Good hand pass there by Zach Kenny, but Corey Hatzamalis wins the ball and kicks it over to Bias. Bias is in some space here, but Connor Marshall gets him down, and Taj Freeman kicks it into one young Brady, and he's snapped around the corner and he's kicked a great goal. It's great work by the Rangers, and especially that intercept in the middle that got the ball forward to Bias and then onto young Taj Freeman, and it resulted in a goal. The Rangers are really capitalising on the pushes forward, and it's certainly telling that the South guys aren't converting when they should be, Benj.
And South have had a couple out on the falls as well, so South will need to pick up.
It's interesting to see since the last game the wind's actually swung around a bit, so I don't think it's really favouring any end there, do you?
No, it's really going across the field towards the RSL, so I'm not sure how that's going to affect their kicking, but Rangers have definitely found their mark all right.
Two rucks go at it again, and Camden Madden gets a kick forward.
Wells
picked up well by Wells, but it was a good tackle by Hatzamalis. Holman gets a rushed hand pass forward, and once again Hatzamalis, he's playing well, that boy. Out to Will Charlton, so Will Charlton's got some space out here if he can pick it up. He looks inside to Ali Bias, who's found himself a bit of space, but he's put down something that he probably should have taken.
Marshall rushes it out to Madden, who finds Pratt over on the far side wing. Takes his time and has a runner coming through. And young lad's got the ball. He kicks it up inside the South 50. Ball comes out of the pack. And Caden Bryant takes an excellent juggled mark about 20 metres out from goal. Now, young Caden's are pretty deadly with his skills, so I won't write it down, and I won't put the mocker on him either, because South really need this one to help lift the atmosphere out there and keep themselves right in this game. Bryant comes in and unfortunately hits the post.
Wow, that's the story of the day so far, Benj. They just can't seem to get a major on the board, but they certainly got some scoreboard pressure going forward.
And they've got a lot of loose men out here, the Rangers have on the grandstand side.
So there was Morgan out to Bias, and he's kicked along the wing. And it's a bit of a...
Kenny's got the ball, kicks back inside.
Paddy Ryan brings the ball out. Bit of a chaos ball forward. Ball comes to ground.
Take it on, Price.
Pratt picks it up, kicks inside the 50.
Oh, some good body work there by Duditz.
And Craig Miller Capinuri kicks the first goal for the Eagles. He put a bit of a bump on and forced himself to remain free, picked the ball up, dribbled it along the ground through the goals for South's first goal.
That was great body work there, Ben. It's good to see that he's using his body in a fair manner, and he used it to his advantage and scored the major there.
Pays to have a body sometimes that you can do that with, so he's performed well with that. So we're back to the centre.
So Rangers are up by 2 points after that major by South. Got Brett Shannon to throw the ball up in the middle. And Max go it again, and one down to Corey Hatzimalis, and well done.
Young Marshall again comes flying out and got the possession and turned it over. Got it across to Madden, who was on to Pratt. Now from the other Marshall through to Horton, who will need to kick it. He kicks in long and a mark. Even though the South player marked it over the back, there's been a free kick paid, and the umpires now paid the advantage where the mark over the back of the pack ended in a goal. But I think the free kick initially was going to be to Bryant for a bit of a push out in the marking contest. But young Nila Caprinuri again grabbed the mark and slotted it through, so South have moved to 2-5 to the Rangers 2-1.
Yeah, the Marble Range back line are a bit undecided on who they've got to be standing back there at the moment, Benj. I'm not sure what's going on, but they need to sort that out. Otherwise, the way the South moved that ball forward, they look very dangerous. There's a great tap down there by Max Bartlett to Gil Casanova, out in front of young Brady, young Thomas, over to Ali Bias, get his ball over the ball, body over the ball to Turner, to Casanova, back to Josh Bradford, sorry. And young Wilkins, out of bounds. So we're going to have a throw in at the right forward pocket for Marble Range. We've got Charlton and Williams going up for the ball. Rangers gets it through Hatzimalis, and there's a high tackle being paid. He'll go back about 45 metres out, probably kicking from the 50-metre line there, you reckon, Benj? But
yeah, probably right on the 50 when he kicks it. So
I'd say he's on the scoring side though, so if he gets onto this, he should go close. But he's got the distance easy enough, but she's faded off to the right, so another minor score for Marble Range.
Tex Holman's going to bring it's actually Max. Williams brings the ball in and finds Holman in the back pocket. Both teams seem to be winning the ball out of the middle at the ruck contest, so it's a pretty even. It's just what happens from there, and it's been a bit up and back, but South have come out with it again through young Zach Kenny, who goes right into the middle, and Jake Horton dashes through, kicks it long towards the goal. Ball's bouncing and bounced through for a point from a kick from about 50 out. So
that's another great foray forward by the South team. They're moving the ball nice and fast, and they're catching the actual Marble Range players off guard in the back line. Come back out through Patrick Ryan. There's a really nice kick to young Kyle Turner. He needs to go back and get his kick over the mark. You can't do that. You've got to be watching the ball. So it's a play on. Young Josh Bradford goes long. And he's just missed to the left-hand side. Yeah, it's good football.
It is. It's very fast. It's very open. But there's some great tackles and great pressure being applied by both teams. Brennan Lee's going to bring the ball back in. Kicks looking for Max Williams over on the far side, who's 3-on-1. He's dived on the ball to try and keep it in, but Rangers have got it out. They kick inside their 50. The ball's a bit fumbly and a bit slippery because at Rangers before this game, and it's made it a bit heavy. Rangers have a shot on goal, and South may be able to get rid of it out through there, about 25 out from goal, but it's a bit of a stacks on the mill there at the moment. I think the umpire's going to. I thought he was going to bounce it, but he's paid holding the ball against Marble Range, and there goes the siren to end the first quarter. So at the moment it's South leading 2 goals 6-18 to Marble Range 2-3-15.
Yeah, that was a hotly contested quarter there, Benj. Some really good football from both sides. Some good defence.
Yes.
Both ways.
Yeah. Both South goals have come through Craig Miller Capinuri, and I know one of the goals was for
both of them have come through the Bradford twins, so
Thomas is one and
Josh is the other.
Josh has one as well, so
yep.
They're both holding up well for their team and making the most of when the ball comes into their forwards. The umpire's going to have a well-deserved break, I think, here.
Yeah, that's for sure. It was fast footy backwards and forwards, so good transition by both teams. And just want to send a shout out to Nana Marshall. I know she's watching this live in Adelaide at the moment, so it's Bryce Marshall's grandmother. Apparently last year, watching the grand final, she sent the battery flat in the car by tooting the horn too much. So good on you, Nana, for watching. And also to young Bubba Siebert, who can't be with us today. That's part of this Marble Range team. He booked his tickets to Bali a little bit too early, and he's going to be watching it live in wherever he is in Bali. So good on you, Bubba.
No, it's fantastic that the league have used this platform to share the display of talent on grand final day and to let everyone have a chance at watching their children, grandchildren, nephews, nieces, cousins, friends, kids and everything like that. And it continues throughout the day. It started with the 13s and it's broadcast all day live through to the final siren in the A grade and the presentations. So pretty well done by the league to get this in place. I know it's the second year running, but it's a very good platform anyway. So I look forward to the next quarter. Coming into this game, Marble Range I think finished in 4th position, and they came through the finals in extra time in their first semi against Tasman's. And Tasman's so far this year were the only team that have beaten the Lincoln South Eagles. So Marble Range then come up against Waybacks, who more or less had beaten everyone bar Lincoln South all year. So they fought their way and they played extremely well last week to book their place, and they're not letting themselves down with what they're playing today, that's for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this next quarter. But as I said, the centre bounces, the clearances are so even. Like it happens one end, it'll be a South tap and a clear possession, but then the pressure once that ball gets tapped down, Marble Range are picking it off as well, and their ruck is performing extremely well as well. So I see Tex Holman's coming to ruck this time, and Max Williams has gone to the back lines. So we'll see what happens with the Max Bartlett up against Tex Holman this time, but yeah, it should be another interesting quarter.
Yeah, Benj, it's certainly been a good centre line battle with the ball movers for both sides playing their part. Not sure what's going on here. Marble Range seem to be one short in the middle, but young Ethan Richardson's moving in there now. So we got Max Bartlett, Bryce Marshall, Joshua Bradford and Ethan Richardson with Tex Holman, Tyson Bratt, Camden Madden, sorry, I keep saying that, and young Wells in the middle for South.
Okay, I think
we've got a couple of hecklers here in the crowd, but we'll try and do the best we can for you folks out there watching live.
I think the umpire's more or less clarifying that everyone's set, and 6, 6 and 6 are all in spots, so he holds the ball up to begin the second quarter.
Taps won there by Holman, and young Camden Madden gets the ball forward for South. Hatzamalis attacks the ball nice and hard but misses it. And the South player there, young
Will Simons.
Will Simons had a shot on goal but misses slightly to the left. That was good fast forward play by South there, and that's the way they've been playing most of this game so far, both sides.
Obviously the ball's rolled under a car. Oh, we've got it back now, so the Rangers defender's going to bring it back into play. I think it's young Casanova that's got the ball this time.
Yep, young Gill.
Been playing very well and repelling a lot of the inside 50s and being a bit of a link man in getting the ball out. So he kicks it out and the ball comes to loose.
Oh, good hand pass.
Miller Capinuri fires on goal. And
that's the
marked
Marlins.
right in that last line of defence by the Marble Range player who plays on now and kicks it outside. But he's found young Leonard Wells.
Certainly let himself down with a kick there.
Dances around the player, gets rid of the ball to young Speed, who passes off to Marshall, who has a shot on goal, and it's through for a goal. I think, yes.
Yeah, that was good play there by the South boys, especially Speed. Hatzamalis let himself down a little bit with that kick, and Wells was lucky to get away with trying to play on there, but nice snap for goal, and she's got over the defenders' heads there, and it's another major for South, so they lead 3-7 to 2-3.
And I think I thought it was Marshall, but it could have been Zach Kenny that scored that goal, so I'll clarify that later.
It's a good goal, whoever it was.
Rangers win the tap and the ball comes out to a South player who's tackled, and Rangers win the ball back again. Unfortunately, it's gone to Wells, who did a bit of a dance around and ended up with Madden, who kicks in, and Horton's marked and plays on. And it's gone over the top of the pack and through for another goal to the South. So that quick centre clearance is paying dividends for South. They're getting it into their 50 very quickly.
Yeah, they certainly are, Benj, and the Marble Range guys need to get somebody over the back there because they seem to be getting the ball. Bartlett's roving his own ruck work, but seem to be actually losing it straight back to the actual South boys who are transitioning forward and are catching the Marble Range defenders off guard a bit. So we are back in the centre again, and Brett Shannon throws it up, taps one by Max Bartlett, but it's really well rode by Wells. Rush kick forward by the South player. It's come to ground again, and Tyson Pratt gets it.
By Pratt, fires it in. Rangers are under pressure here to clear the ball out of their defensive 50, but it looks like it's going to go out of bounds. No, it's stayed in, and it's cleared. And as the Marble Range player tried to kick, he was quickly tackled by Marshall that time. He kicks it over to Pratt, and Pratt sends it through for another goal to the Eagles. So the Eagles go to 5 goals, 7-37. Marble Range 2 goal 3. Marble Range haven't really got it inside their forward 50 as yet, after only 5 minutes in, or 6 minutes into this second quarter. So it's going to be a bit uneven if that trend continues. So Marble Range will be looking to win it out here. So Bartlett's up against young Tex Holman again. So the ball's thrown up, Holman wins the tack, comes out to a Rangers player.
Young Thomas Bradford. Young Josh Bradford picks the ball up now. Breaks one tackle, 2 tackles, hand passes back to Brock Davis. Rushes it forward. The contest, the ball comes to ground. And young, we haven't got number 12. Young South player kicks it out. Camden Madden again with another ball possession, and he's doing really well.
Fowler for South that takes possession. The ball's gone back to Camden Madden via hand pass, who sends it forward to the wing, and a great mark's been taken over there by young Ambrose, Rogowski for South.
Yeah, no, that was a good mark.
He sends it forward to just outside the 50, swept upon by Wells, who lost possession. Marble Range now have possession, and it was cleared out through one of their players. It still hasn't really left the area, but a kicks has sent it forward, but unfortunately gone out of bounds on the full.
Yeah,
by the CWA hole.
The Marble Range backline is certainly under pressure this quarter, Benj, and that's through the determination and the actual aggression of the actual South boys. They're actually really pushing hard to push the ball forward. There's a kick in there from young Kenny to Holman. Holman's got the ball just on half forward. It's a high ball inside looking for Horton. Ball comes to ground and young Ethan Foster gets it out. Hand pass over to Thomas Bradford. It goes back to Max Bartlett, but he hasn't hit his target there. And young Camden Madden again.
Yeah, Madden's got in the way again, and the ball's been forced out over the boundary line. So the boundary ump will throw it in, and South will be looking to take it forward, and Rangers will be looking to clear the ball. So Bartlett and Holman go at it, and the ball ends up straight back to the boundary umpire again to bring it in once more. Ball's brought in. Holman won the tap that time, and possession by young Speed, I think it was, kicked the ball and sent it forward to the right forward pocket, the left forward pocket for South, but unfortunately out of bounds on the full. So Rangers bring it back in through.
Yeah, Hatzamalis again. He's had a lot of the ball and he's kicked to Will Charlton, but it's gone over his head and been touched out of bounds, so it'll be a throw in over on the left forward flank for Lincoln South. So Holman and Bartlett go at it again. No real winner out of that one, but young Thomas Bradford runs over the ball and young Speedy takes it out of bounds again. So another throw in.
More or less in the same position where it has been for the last three throw-ins. So it's thrown in. Rangers win the tap, but it's swooped upon by Madden, who kicks right up forward, and Caden Bryant tried to juggle the mark, ended up on the ground with the mark, with the ball, put his boot to it, and the ball went through for another goal to South. It was a bit of a miracle goal, that one, but all the same, I'm sure South will take it.
Oh, that's for sure, Benj. No, he made something out of nothing there, and that just shows, you never give up. And he's got the ball on the bottom of the pack, and he's thrown the ball on his boot and gone through for a major. So Souths are now 6-7, 43 to 2-3-15 for Marble Range. So yeah, Rangers are letting this slip away a bit. They need to do something there.
So the midfields really haven't changed, so besides the ruckman for South. They've got a free kick. It's play on advantage. Madden gets it, handballs to Wells. Wells lines up for goal. It's juggled but not a clear possession to South, and Marble Range pick it up and just get it outside their 50. But unfortunately it was untouched, so the umpires paid a free kick to South, and the balls ended up being kicked in quickly, and Jake Horton has the ball, and he's lining up from about 30 metres out, slight acute angle. He comes in, kicks, and it's just gone across to the left-hand side where it was juggled, and the ball hit the post, and it's going to be a throw-in right in that forward pocket. So
yeah, it's not a bad result for South, really. They got to keep the ball in their forward line. The ruck won by Foster, but he's punched it straight to Camden Madden again. They've got a rush kick out of the back lines by Marble Range player, and young Barry Speed picks it up, but he's actually taken over the boundary line out in that half-forward flank again. We've had the last four throw-ins almost.
Yep, I think there must be something about that sign over on the boundary line that they're trying to get on.
Yeah, Doug Watson's is certainly getting some airtime today.
That's it. They'll be happy with their sponsorship dollars.
We can have another throw-in. Obviously that one didn't come in far enough, so the boundary umpire's going to come in a bit further. He's thrown it in, so Holman and Bartlett again go at it. Ball's brought to ground, and I think we've got can have a ball up here where Holman recovered the ball, but Bartlett wrapped him up very quickly.
Okay, the ball goes up in the air. Possession to Rangers.
So
they come away with the ball
through Josh Bradford.
Yep. He sends it forward. Akers slides across and cuts it off, but sends back a high ball, which was then
forward by Josh Bradford to Ethan Richardson. He centres the ball to Will Charlton, who's gone long. Got Jace Morgan running back onto it, but it's gone too far and it's over his head and out of bounds without being touched, so it'll be a kick into South.
That'll be through Fowler for South. He'll bring the ball back in. He's got options on both sides, but he goes a little bit shorter and finds Akers right on the defensive 50 line for South. He brings it in a little inboard to Cooper Marshall, who kicks across and finds Rogowski, who now plays on and goes forward. We've got Jake Horton there, who throws it on his boot, and it's ended up being punched out of bounds in the South forward pocket.
Yeah, South are getting it forward there, quite easily, Benj, through, and Horton seems to be playing his part at centre forward, or if that's the position he's playing. It was a good punch there by Fielder, but once again, South get another opportunity.
Marshall has a shot on goal from the boundary throw-in, and it's gone out of bounds on the other side. Not on the full, but untouched, so Marlborough Range play on through Bias, who brings it down to the coach's box. But a strong mark in defence was taken by Rogowski, who plays on.
Oh, great tackle.
And was wrapped up in a strong tackle by young Bradford, Thomas Bradford. He plays on up the wing and he finds Brock Davis.
Yeah, Holman very undisciplined there. Now he's getting involved with the crowd, but yeah, that was quite silly of him there. But anyway, it's a 25-metre penalty. Davis onto Charlton. Charlton kicks him long. But Marble Range, Bartlett playing behind. He's got to get in front if he's going to win that ball.
Max Williams cuts off the ball with a mark, goes out to Madden, who fumbles the mark, but he's still got time to pick it up and move it forward where he finds Akers, who goes short, but it's been cut off by the Hat lad up the wing. Akers gets it again, dribbling pass forward. Jet Druitt picks up the ball, handballs over to Horton. Horton kicks inside the 50. It's a race out here with Bryant picking up the ball, kicking it goal, and just slightly offline, and it through for a behind to South. That kind of shows the speed of how quickly that the South team can move it forward, and they know where their options are and they're willing to give it by foot or by hand. So Marble Range have really got a lot of pressure on them. Bias brings it out through a pass that's marked. No, unfortunately dropped, marked. Bryant gets it over to Miller Crapineri, who then fires on goal, and we've got Wells lurking in the goal square, takes the mark in between two Ranger players. He read the ball well and has put it through for another goal to the Lincoln South Eagles. So they move along to 7-7-49 to Marble Range 2-3-15.
Yeah, Marble Range seem to be making some uncharacteristic errors, but I'd put that down to the pressure that South are putting on them. Benz, they certainly, following up their good work and running forward, where the Marble Range boys are dropping marks that they should be taking.
Yeah, that is for sure. It's I think the nervous pressure, but also the ball is a bit slippery and it does, slip through the hands is a bit easier than when you're normally playing with a dry ball and on a dry ground. So it was kind of a heavy shower before the game started. So, I don't think it's all pressure and nerves that's putting the Rangers off, because they're showing a lot of heart and endeavour and chase, and they just probably need to get in front a little bit more when their ball's coming forward, and things might turn around. So
yeah, you're right there. No, they're certainly playing behind, so they get in front. The ruck taps one there by Bartlett to Turner, who gets rid of the ball, and Hatzamala sends up with it, but he's kicked it just a little bit strong, and young Morgan's dropped it again, but Hatzamala's back in there to give the contest. Bartlett gets it, hand passes to Josh Bradford, who's tackled well by young Leonard Wells. He's making some miles, that boy.
Yeah, and Madden's ended up with the ball. He passed it on to young Cooper Marshall, who was trying to find Jake Horton. But unfortunately for South, young Casanova shows no fear, ends up with the ball and put in a great effort to get the ball up on the wing. So he now is on the chase, trying to catch Connor Marshall. But the umpire's saying something here.
Yeah, no, he ran a bit too far there, Benj. I reckon he actually had about 5 too many steps there.
Yeah. And under the pressure of Casanova, he's definitely putting in the hard yards for his team and trying to encourage them to lift. So he's got the ball in the middle of the ground on the wing.
Bit of confusion there from the umpire, but it was cleared up in the end, and Casanova kicks a nice little pass into Will Charlton.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure on. I know he wasn't right behind his line, but I think he a bit of overkill there by umpire, blew it. So Rangers have ended up with an inside 50, the chance to put a score on the board, but unfortunately no one's back home in their goal square. And luckily for the South team, young Fowler touched the ball just before it went through the line. So young Pratt's going to bring the ball back in from the back lines. Puts on a short pass and finds Wells, who's made a lot of distance once again. He definitely has very good skills, but unfortunately the ball's gone out of play. And I think it's going to be a free kick to Rangers for an untouched. No, it's going to be a throw in. It must have been touched before it went over the line. So we're over across the fishing shop now. Wells comes through with the ball, disposes of it. Madden once again kicks up. Young Druitt's in a chase here with young Holman for the Rangers. Druitt picks it up, gets a kick away, and finds two South players who more or less juggled the mark. That was Horton and Pratt, and now the ball's being kicked by the Rangers out to the wing. Young Marshall comes through at a rate of knots to try and halt the charge forward. He's been disposed of the ball. The ball comes out to the Rangers, who are tackling hard and ferociously here, and the umpire's going to ball it up.
It's a good effort there by young Tate Bean. He's on the bottom of the pack. He's a young under 15 coming up today from Marlborough. They're number 3. Ethan Richards tries to burst through the pack. Ball's in dispute. And Michael Blewett's found a high tackle here for
Connor Marshall. And he's looking over and he can see a huge amount of calling done by Madden, who now has 2 players on him, but he's marked in the centre of the ground. He's looking to find someone leading forward for South. And a strong mark's being taken by young Craig Akers, I think it is, who puts on board, but it's been cut off by one of the Rangers players in the defence.
Yeah, let himself down there with that kick, and Max Bartlett was falling into the hole, and he's did a good pass out to young Josh Bradford, who hits Ali Bias with a really nice little piece of footwork. He's kicked it over to Thomas Bradford, who's now looking for Ethan Foster, who's just put over his head, but Cole Turner runs onto the ball here. If he can control, he can get it forward to the Rangers forward line, but it's a bit of a wayward kick, and South boys seem to be able to mop up here, and Rangers have let themselves down a little bit with their
if Rangers are going to score, I was going to say they'll probably need to do it quick, but unfortunately for them the siren's gone to end the first half. So scores at the end of the first half: Lincoln South 7 goal 9-50, Marble Range 2 goal 4-13. Unfortunately Rangers were only just able to add on 1 point in that quarter, but they tried so hard and valiantly to get it up there. So I'm pretty sure their coach will be you know, just working with them and trying to encourage them to keep playing with the endeavour that they are, but just to maybe get in front a little bit more and be able to take some of those marks when the ball's coming forward, so they can get possession and be able to have some shots on goal.
Yeah, they certainly got some work to do, Benj, and everything they're throwing at South seem to have an answer for the way they're moving the ball, they're defending, they're running in teams, they're hitting targets. South is certainly looking the better and even fresher side at the moment, and that may be a telling factor for Marble Range, whether they've got the legs to run this game out like South have.
If you're sitting back there thinking that there's only a few players from each team out there that are playing, there is a whole team for both teams, and they're all putting in, and we keep hearing the same names mentioned. So at the moment for South, their best players probably to half-time would be Jake Horton, and not in any particular order either. Young Camden Madden, who's been everywhere. Tyson Pratt's been everywhere. Wells has been everywhere. They're definitely moving the ball around, but also the other players are freeing up the space for these players, where Akers comes into the game and Bryant comes into the game, Holman comes into the game, which leaves a lot of hard work for the Rangers players to man up on. But having said that, who would your best players for the Rangers be for the first half? Yeah,
I'd have to say that Corey Hatzamalis in the back line probably be arguably our best player at the moment. Young Gil Casanova certainly came into it in that quarter. The two Bradford boys, both Thomas and Josh, have been in and out of the play throughout that first half, but Max Bartlett tirelessly rucking by himself. You couldn't go past him as one of the top five either, but the Rangers boys have certainly got some work to do, because those names you mentioned for South are certainly, they're everywhere, and they're pushing hard and working hard to get the ball, and they're actually playing as a team. Their teamwork's really good at the moment, South.
Yeah, they've been able to finish off their plays, which...
Yeah, that'll do. But not Marlon. Everyone's texting me, can you please tell him how to pronounce your name? Just go Hatsy. Just say Hatsy.
Sorry folks, I've just been corrected there on the pronunciation of Hatzimannolis' name. Corey's number 8 for Marble Range, so we'll try to get that correct.
We're just calling him Corey from now on.
For all those viewers out there that have texted in, I'm sorry, I apologise, but thanks for correcting us on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I didn't think I should interrupt you.
Okay, so the third quarter's about to begin with umpire Newman waiting for the 6 and 6s to all get in place while we wait for the goal umpires who have taken their time. Even the crowd's left the field before them this time. So we've got the goal umpires in place. The thumbs up from the umpires to say they're all set. And the siren begins to start the third quarter.
Holman wins the tap down, and once again Camden Madden gets the ball forward, and brilliant pick up there by young Daniel Wells. But he gets the ball forward, and young Holman for Marble Range brings the ball forward, but it's in dispute again. Good smother there by young Speed, but young Fossey kicks the ball forward, but he's kicked it straight to Daniel Wells, who's actually
found Miller Continuary, who has passed off to Madden. The ball's come unstuck and gone back into the pack, and there's a pack forming, and the umpire's going to come in and bounce the ball.
Got young Corey Hatzimanolis down on the actual 50-metre line for Lincoln South there. Marble Range don't need to lose him, that's for sure.
Madden ends up with the ball, fires it in, and a strong mark's been taken by Bryant about 10 metres out from goal on a bit of an acute angle though. So the umpire sets him up. Bryant this year only returned just after probably close to 2/3 of the season had taken place. He had an operation on his back last year, and we knew he'd be back. It was just a matter of when, because he loves his game. Kicks on and unfortunately misses to the left, but he's been a handy get back into the team for South for
This is
strong
not good,
direction.
not good
up
for
forward.
the Marlborough Range team here, mate, with young Corey Hatziman-Nolis coming off. Seems to have some issues with his ribs. So
Yes, he looks a bit on the breathing side, that it's a bit hurts a bit. So
Casanova brings the ball into Bias. He plays on quickly and then passes it out to Tate Beanies on the half-forward flank. Beanies chips it over to Foster and takes a really good strong mark in front of Tyson Pratt.
hands out in front of the ball, so there was no chance
Oh,
of
he's
it
let
coming
himself
out.
down there with that kick though. Don't know why he's trying to go short there. But anyway, going forward, and Pratt's got the ball, and it's a great tackle by Josh Bradford, and he's rewarded for his good effort there.
Good strong tackle, and he was off otherwise, so good lot of courage shown by the Marlborough Range player.
Yeah,
The mark, unfortunately, has been taken by South right on the wing from that Marlborough Range
that was
player.
just good body work by Max Williams. He set himself in a good position and was able to read the ball better than everybody else there. Kicks the ball forward, and Wells gets his in position, but it's brought to ground by Marlborough Range.
Marshall gets the ball, handballs it forward. It comes over to young Simons, whose kick was smothered when he was trying to kick it. Marlborough Range come out of defence with it. They've got it out to their 50-metre mark. There's quite a few of them there working together to try and put Shepherds on. And he had the tackle on him, so he'll get a relieving kick.
Yeah, this is the pressure the South is putting on Marlborough Range this quarter, but ball comes over the back and Josh Bradford picks it up, Rose on his left leg, and he's found Turner in the middle, and he's held the mark. He's gone forward to a one-on-one contest between Wilkins and Dare. Wilkins takes a good mark. He'll be kicking from 55 out. He's looked on. He's picked out Thomas Bradford. The ball's come to ground. It's just gone over his head.
The other
And-
Marshall clears it out towards Madden, who was running with a Ranger player who both ran over the ball, but Madden's mopped it up and he's found Wells on the wing. He comes inboard, but he's cut off. Speeds ended up playing the ball forward, running onto it, passes over to Horton. Horton on the boot, and it's cut off in the forward pocket by Marlborough Range defence. He comes back out with his pass, and Horton's cut that off with Wells. They work together through handball. Wells has a shot on goal. It bounced just before the goal square, and Marlborough Range touched it, so it's through for a behind.
Once again, that's South's pressure, putting the Marlborough Range back line under all sorts. And they've certainly got the Marlborough Range measure at the moment. Casanova's set to bring the ball back in, and it looks like he wants to come on the grandstand side. Marlborough Range needs to start moving here because they're all standing flat-footed, but Casanova does his usual sidestep and brings the ball forward. Thomas Bradford brings the ball to the ground, but once again, Camden Madden has just read the ball beautifully like he has all day. He kicked it forward. It's a great spoil by Jace Morgan, but came straight to the ground, and Jake Horton picked it up, kicked it in, and young, who we got there, Benj?
Luke Stewart's taken
Young
a
Luke
mark.
Stewart's taking a good mark because he's playing in front, and that's what South are doing.
He's about no more than 10 metres out, probably. Comes in, kicks, and unfortunately hits the post. So another minor score to the Eagles 17's team.
Yeah, South could have, certainly put this game really nearly beyond dispute with their kicking, but they seem to be hitting the minor side of the actual goals every time, and Marlborough Range are still in the game, but they've got a lot of work to do. Got Gil Casanova kicking it back in. Max Bartlett sets himself, but the ball comes to ground. It's good to see young Manolis is back on the ground. And Ali Bias picks it up, goes to Josh Bradford, it goes back to Casanova. He does, and he's got himself in trouble there, and that's holding the ball.
Advantage paid, and the ball moved quickly to Miller Coutinho, and he's going to have a shot on the opposite side of the goal square to where the young lad from South had a shot on before. He's kicked truly, and it's a major to South. So that takes them to 8-12 to the Rangers 2-4. So South, should have probably been further in front, but they have denied the Rangers the opportunity to hit back and not be able to score. So they have kept it tight as much as they're working well as a team all across the ground and working for each other. I'm not saying the Rangers aren't either, but the Rangers just seem to be up against a little bit more pressure.
Yeah, no, that South pressures, is certainly the dominant factor out there today, Benj.
Yeah.
Ball's thrown up again, and Bartlett and Holman go at it. It's one down by Bartlett to Corey Hatziman-Olis. Gnarly Bias fumbles, and Tyson Pratt, I think it is, has picked it up. And it's a good no, it's not. It was young Ambrose, but Bias, good tackle. Wilkins and Dare go at it. The ball's in dispute, and Dare gets a little kick out. Bradford plays for a free kick there, but the umpire's not having any of that. The ball comes into a pack, and I think there's going to have to be no. The umpire's letting it go here, Benj. It's it's not a bad thing in the final.
Yes, I just thought it could have been a free kick paid to Rangers there for a throw in the disposal from the South player, but unfortunately for them not, and they've got an opportunity now through Bias, who looks out wide and finds young Holman, and he kicks it in. Juggled attempt at a mark, and the ball's ended up back in more or less a rugby scrum once again. So
yeah, Rangers have got an opportunity here, Benj, if they can just get a ball to somebody going running by, but South have seemed to have the answers. Ali Bias picks it up, and on his usual left leg, he's kicked into Wilkins, who's actually probably dropped one that he should have had, but some fancy footwork, he's slotted through for a goal, so that's really good by the young fella there. Ali Bias doesn't seem to miss too many on his left leg, but that one there, he didn't get in there, but Wilkins made the most of his opportunity and kicked a goal.
Yeah, it's a well-deserved goal to the Rangers team. They've been working hard for that, and to their credit, they ended up finishing off properly. So that takes them to 3-4, 22 to South 8-12, 59. But I think 6 and 8 sixes are 48 and 12 make 60. So we're not fighting over 1 point, but
no, I think the goal umpire will sort that out at quarter time, you'd think. But the Rangers are certainly fair way in arrears at the moment.
So the ball goes up again. Rangers win the tackle, the tap out. Comes and it's picked up by, I think that was Casanova.
Yeah, Casanova again out to Bias, who turns on that left, but he hasn't hit the target with that hand pass, and it's just allowed South to actually easily run out with that ball again, and Max Williams has done well, but Cole Turner's backed up that ball and done well. Out to Casanova, and there was no prior opportunity there, so there's going to be a ball up on the South half-forward flank.
Ball goes up in the air. Holman goes at it with Bartlett, and the ball's been in a stalemate, and we'll have another ball up. This time the ball goes up and it comes out to the Rangers through Corey, and Corey unfortunately had a lot of pressure on him, and the ball's gone out of bounds, and young Akehurst will bring it back in wearing the famous number 9, worn by his father and his legend of the club grandfather as well. So
He's got number 5 on.
okay,
Yeah,
he kicks in and finds Max Williams. He looks across to the middle, but there's not many options, so he may go back up the line with this. He kicks up and is looking for Horton, who ball went through his hands. Zach Kenny grabs the ball. Kick under pressure, sends it forward. Comes to a mark to Caden Bryant, who turns his player around and kicks another major for the Eagles.
Yeah, they just seem too easy for South there. Ben's just, the Marble Range boys need to be putting more pressure on than that. It was just, the ball was just transitioned from half back to half forward, and then the forward line, and South just capitalised on that by good work and going harder for the ball.
Yeah, they are, but I think also too the footy gods have been with South today too. Every time the ball's bounced, it's bounced correctly for them, and they've been able to wrong foot players quite easily and get around the player to deliver to someone else or to have a shot on goal. You have those days where everything happens and everything bounces right, or the wind will take it right.
Yeah, once again, Marble Range win the ball out of the middle, but it just goes straight to a South player who's playing in front and is able to win the ball. So it's come back through.
To Miles, sends it back in. Young Wells had possession, was tackled. The umpire thought a bit high. He looks over, moves it out, and he finds Young. Madden and also Rogowski. They look in board, kick it in, and Horton's on the end of it, about, say, 35 out from goal, nearly directly straight in front. So we'll see if he's done a lot of running, so we'll see if he's still got the power in his legs to finish this kickoff.
He definitely won't be looking to pass it off, knowing Jake, and he's made the distance.
And he had the accuracy. So another goal. Quick reply goal by Lincoln South takes them to 10-12 to Marble Range 3-4.
Yeah, they're certainly making it really out of reach for the Marble Range side now, but they need to have some pride here and to keep trying hard and working hard and seeing if they can actually get some scoreboard pressure back onto Souths, and they can do that by getting in front and putting pressure back on South like the South guys have been on to the Marble Range.
Yeah, you can't doubt Marble Range's endeavour. They've applied pressure, and unfortunately the ease that South have been able to do it with, and here once again the ball goes forward, ends up with Horton. He looks out wide and finds Rogowski. He has a shot in, and it's marked in front by Caden Bryant, who will line up and have a shot from about 15 metres out. I'm not saying anything about his kicking. We're not putting the mockers on him this time.
We could probably put the commentator's curse on him, but I think she's a little bit too far gone for their bench.
And he kicks truly. Another goal to the South team through Caden Bryant, sorry.
Yeah, but Camden Madden was certainly instrumental in getting that ball forward and into Jake Horton's hands, who once again has been involved in that play and has been instrumental to their side all day.
I think I'm starting to get confused with saying the players' names so many times that you just it's right on the tip of your tongue. So
yeah, well, those three players we talked about just then, they've all got a bit of leather poisoning. They've had the ball that much today.
Yes, even though it's still been a courageous effort by the rest of their team. This time the ball comes out through Pratt, who kicks inside 50 and finds Jake Horton once again. This time he'd be 30 metres out, possibly 25, more or less directly in front, and we'll have another shot on goal.
Yeah, the South boys are just reading the ball better at the moment than the Marble Range boys, and that may be through nerves and through dropping their heads a bit. The Marble Range, Patrick Ryan there was playing in front. Jake Horton slots that one through, but Paddy Ryan to his credit, tried to play in front there, but the ball just carried over his head into the hands of Jake Horton, who read it better.
I mean, South have some quality players in their under 17s that have backed up each week playing A grade as well. So not only have they played 17s, they've gone ahead on the same day and played in the A grade team, which some of the Marvel Range players have too. And it's great for the clubs to be able to blood these players, not only for club purposes, but for these kids' benefits too, because ball goes forward again. It was a play on advantage. Horton might have 3 or 4 as well. So, but I'd say it'd be probably his 4th goal he'd be going for. So, comes in, kicks on its way, goes across a little bit, and has gone out of bounds on the full right in front of the scoreboard. So the Rangers will bring the ball back into play. The siren's just about to go in this 3rd quarter, so they should be able to clear it before the siren goes. I think they come across to the canteen side of the ground.
Indecision there a bit, and yeah, that little bit of indecision, but put Richardson under pressure, but he's come forward, and that kick's intercepted by young Tex Holman, who's actually doing a good job in the ruck, and kicks it long forward into the corridor again, and Jake Horton's almost taken a great mark there, but Price Marshall's picked it up and has cleared it again, but only to the Cameron Akehurst, and yeah, just they're just not using the ball as well as they should, Marble Range, but anyway, he's kicked in, and mark's been taken by
Caden Bryant. It didn't go the distance. It went up and down in the one spot more or less, and
yeah, that was a bit deceptive. That ball looked like it was going out by a mile, and it's come all the way back in
and landed back inside. It'd been marked by.
There's a bit of indecision here, because the boundary umpire might have called a little bit early, and has been marked. Well, it seems like it was
conferring here, and
seems like it was a mark by Will Charlton, but
they're paying
the free kick to Lincoln South. That's a little bit
but there's
strange.
A player down in the hands of the trainers for South.
Young Speed's got to come back over his mark anyway and have his kick to kick it in.
And I think it may be Caden Bryant that's coming off the ground in the hands of the trainers. He looks a bit sore in his rib area. In the meantime, Jake Horton's had a snapshot over a goal, and it's gone out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, there goes the siren. That marks 3/4 time for this game, and Lincoln South are well in control of this game, 12-12-83 to 3-4-22.
I'll just keep my eye on the South player to keep anyone updated that's listening out there. He looks a bit sore around his rib stomach area, so the rest of his team come towards him, and I'm pretty sure it's Caden Bryant. He's sucking in a few deep breaths there, and his teammates are getting around him. So
bit of correction there, Benj. It's meant to be 12-12-84 because two evens don't make an odd number.
That's where I was having the trouble. I thought maybe I'd got it wrong, but yeah.
No. So 12-12-84 for Lincoln South and 3-4-22 for Marble Range. With all the work to do, but I think not putting the wood on them, but I think Lincoln South has certainly got this one in the bag.
The South hold a 62-point advantage at the 3/4 time break, so it's going to be very hard for the Rangers to come back from that. As I was saying before about some of the South players that have played A grade this year, Tyson Pratt has, Tex Holman has, Cameron Akehurst has, Caden Bryant has, Leonard Wells. Oh no, sorry, Caden Bryant hasn't. Leonard Wells has. Young Connor Marshall has, Camden Madden has, and Jake Horton has. I'm not sure if Max has played many games up this year. But it just goes to show you there's quite a few names there that have played, 2 games some weeks and have really found their feet in A grade. The South A grade team's quite a young team. Out of the squad there would be probably not many over the age of 25, possibly 4 players out of the playing list for A grade. So there's a lot of future and a lot of depth in the juniors, and South aren't, holding back by helping develop these juniors and bringing them into the game, and Marble Range are doing the same. So
yeah, it's certainly a great opportunity for these young players, and it's great that the clubs are giving them the opportunity to blood them into the A grade and the senior grades, because throwing them out of under 17 straight into to A grade, which the league sees the under 17s as the second top team in any club within the league, and it's great that they're giving these kids the opportunity, because there's a lot of these kids that are big-bodied boys, and they got the skill and the ability to be playing A grade. So Souths are going to benefit from this in years to come by giving these kids the opportunity, and as is Marble Range. We've only had Ali Bias has played 1 game. I think Corey Hatsamanolis has played a number of games, and Gil Casanova, Price Marshall has played 1 game this year in the A grade. But
I've seen a couple of these games where they have played them, and it's great for their development, and it's an encouragement that at their age that these guys can step up and play against grown men and still be still go in hard at the ball and full of confidence and guts that they want to help develop themselves. So
yeah, well, you definitely can see the difference in the more country associations like Grey Flinders, Midwest, Eastern Air, that where they've got the necessity to play these kids up, and that gives these kids all the confidence. And now the Lincoln sides have been doing that. It gives these kids confidence to go in the future. Anyway, here we go. This is the last quarter in this 2019 Grand Final, and let's hopefully that both teams can run it out strong, and that Marble Range can get some scoreboard pressure back on Lincoln South.
Okay, we're just waiting for the oval to clear of spectators, and the B grade have all been out and had a warm up.
Don't know about you, Benj, but I wouldn't mind a foot heater up here. I'm starting to get a little bit chilly.
Yeah, I got a little bit damp in that shower of rain before the game, so a bit of heat wouldn't go astray.
Here we go. Michael Blewett holds the ball up, and it's the start of the last quarter. Bartlett and Holman go at it again, and Holman wins the tap down, but it's picked up by Casanova, who gets a rush kick forward, but only as far as Cameron Akehurst, who has read the play well, and he kicks back in. But he's hit young Thomas Bradford fair on the chest. So Marble Range got an opportunity to go forward. He's kicked it into Corey, but he's dropped it, and a good tackle by Max Williams has wrapped him up, and the umpire's going to reward that tackle.
Max Williams kicks the ball from that tackle over and finds Tex Holman on the wing. He's been told to play on. He kicks it, moves it forward, goes through the pack and comes to the back of the pack where Marble Range player picks it up and ends up with Max Bartlett and Ethan Foster, but it comes out and young Elijah Males gets in the way, but Marble Range work hard, and there's been a free kick paid to young Thomas Bradford for tripping.
Yeah, that was pretty silly by young Elijah Males there. The umpire clearly signalled where the free kick was going, and he's kicked the ball back, and lucky there, young Speed didn't give away another free kick, but another penalty. But we got young Thomas Bradford, who's on about a 45-degree angle, 35 metres out. Kick is on the way, and it's nice and straight, and that's straight through the middle. That's a lovely kick by young Brady.
That was a great kick. Fantastic effort for some tired legs to be able to kick it from that far out at this stage in the game, because that ball's heavy, and he's done well. Moves the scoreboard onto Marble Range to 4-goal-4 now. 28 to South 12-84. So we reset in the middle once again. Young umpire Shannon's going to throw the ball in the air. It's Holman still in ruck. He gets a fist on it and it goes out to Kenny and Madden, who are outplayed there by the Rangers player, young Cooper Wilkins. And it's ended up with the kick forward, it's ended up with Cameron Akehurst, who looks inboard, and Bartlett's cut off that kick that was aimed at Tex Holman. He's gone out wide and got on to
young Will Charlton. He's bombed along again, and South have read it better than Marble Range. Wilkins gets a handball inboard, and Paddy Ryan. And the ball's wrapped up there and was rushed through for a behind. That was better play and better movement by the Marble Range team there. Started from Bartlett, cutting off that kick that came out from South's back line.
young Connor Marshall brings the ball back into play. And possession was taken by
Hatson and Olis.
Yes, young Corey. And he's had a dribbling snap along the ground and added a score of a goal to the Rangers team. So
that's 2 quick goals for Marble Range there, and you never say never, but I think that time may beat them, but those 2 quick goals might give them a little bit of a spark, and they may make this a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, they say, never count your chickens, but South are in a position that it would be for them to lose if it was to happen, but
yeah, that's for sure, Benj. Anyway, young Thomas Bradford out of the middle again, or Josh, was it? Kick forward by young Eli Giddings to Wilkins. Ball's come through. Thomas Bradford picks the ball up. Oh, and spotted young Brock Davis, who's found himself free, 25 metres out, almost directly in front. Once again, that's great movement by Marble Range. They've certainly sorted their centre line out this quarter. And this could be another major, let's hope so, for Marble Range. But no, he's let himself down with that kick and it's drifted away to the right.
That one went through for a minor score, but it's good to see the Rangers team actually get reward for their effort having these shots on goal. And there's an infringement by a water boy inside the 50, so looks like it must be a Marble Range water boy, and South are going to forward that kick to the centre square line through Max Williams. Kicks the ball long, looking for Horton, who's had one in front and one behind, and he was in the middle and got the mark. He kicks the ball quickly to young Duritz, who kicks it up forward looking for a South player, but the South players have infringed and Marble Range have got a free kick for a push in the back.
So young Caleb Fielder has the ball, right forward pocket for Lincoln South, and he's kicked it long, but he's kicked it straight to Eli Giddings. Thought that was going to fall short, but it's drifted over Duritz's head, and Eli's taken a good strong chest mark. He's not a big kick, the boy, but Bryce Marshall nearly takes a one-hander, picks the ball up, gets it out to Josh Brady, kicks it on to Thomas. Max Williams
intercepts, gets the ball to Akehurst. Ball comes out. Corey for the Rangers team moves it forward. Starting to get a bit scrambly, a bit stacks on the mill, and umpire Blewett's paid or found a free kick, but I'm not sure who it's going to yet. It was Max Williams for a high hit on him, so he seems okay. And the young Caden Bryant's also, he's been on the field since the start of the quarter, so Pratt flies high on the back of the Rangers player, but didn't get near the ball. He disposed of it out through the midfield. I'm not sure it went the required amount, so it was a play on through the Rangers out there. It stacks on the mill once again. They've been too high, and a free kick, I think, to Josh Bradford.
Plays on quickly out to Eli Giddings, who pulls that one nicely on his left hand and looks up forward to Cooper Wilkins, and he's taken a good mark in the left forward pocket. Plays on quickly, straight down the middle and spots Braddy, and that's a great little kick and centred that up. So young Thomas Bradford goes back. Yeah, that was better by Marble Range. Really nice play out of the off the wing there.
Yeah, I think they didn't doubt themselves and had the faith in each other, and have ended up rewarding themselves with a goal.
Yeah, no, good team play for all those boys just then. From Josh Bradford to Thomas to Eli Giddings to Cooper Wilkins back into Thomas Bradford, and he's finished off by rewarding their hard effort by putting one straight through the middle.
So that's 3 goals so far this quarter in a spate of about 8 minutes. So it moves them along to 6 goals, 6-42 to South 12, 84. So South is still 6 goals, 6 in front of them, but anything can happen in 10 minutes.
Anything can, Benj.
Back with the ball up in the middle. Holman goes up against Bartlett. Holman gets a tap out to Madden, who sends it forward and finds Cooper Marshall. He kicks forward and finds Zach Kenny, who was disposed. And it comes out. Ali Bias picks it up and kicks around his body and finds
young Eli Giddings.
He goes up the boundary line and he finds one of the Bradford boys, who was definitely disposed of a little bit crudely once he got rid of the ball. But the other Marshall twin comes boring through this time. Works it loose, ball comes out and goes to the other Marshall twin. So Cooper and Connor combining in there.
Here's the 2 Bradford twins trying to combine, but one out there by young Cooper Marshall. Bryce Marshall. There's Marshalls everywhere out there.
Yeah.
Lovely kick on to Ethan Foster, who's found Brock Davis in the forward pocket. He's kicked it on to Corey Hatzimanalis. Who hasn't been able to hold the mark.
He was being held on to, and South were probably lucky not to give away the free kick for that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the crowd's
there.
seen all that. So
yeah, it's interesting. The umpire's right there, and he didn't call it, so he's made a decision one way or the other. Will Charlton caught behind there. Young Brady comes through and gets a free kick for his effort and held on to without the ball. So this is Josh Bradford, the left legger of the 2 twins. And I reckon this might be just beyond his range, but
looks like he's on the right side for a left legger though, so we'll see what he can do. He's about 40 metres out. We probably want to start it out left and work it back, but it's gone more or less straight and ended up out to the right. But they've still got a chance here to score. South are working hard along the ground, and the Rangers are working equally hard to try and keep it in there. Madden ends up with the ball, has a kick out of defence, bounces over the Marble Range player, ends up in the hands of South, who move it forward, but Rangers take it forward again, this time through Giddings. Ends up with Gil Casanova, has a shot on goal, but unfortunately it's away to the left. So another chance for them to peg that margin back a bit, but South end up with it.
They need majors instead of behind, so Holman has the ball, back to Max Williams. Oh, Jace Morgan. Holman does the ultimate sin of kicking across the face of goal and pays the penalty with young Jace Morgan drifting across, intercepting a ball in front of Max Williams and snapping a goal. So
I think he read it like a book. He could see it happening and made his presence in there and was able to take the possession and have a snapshot right in the goal square and put it through the to give Marble Range their 7th for the.
Well, Marble Range got about 8 minutes. So I don't think they're going to be able to do it, but they're certainly having a crack.
Ball goes up again in the middle. Holman taps this time. Horton puts a tackle on one of the Rangers midfields. They're both back in underneath the ball. Casanova's disposed of the ball. Comes out to young Speedy. He kicks it down to the forward 50 line, but unfortunately out of bounds on the full, and Rangers kick it back in.
Yeah, Price Marshall, nice kick there to Will Charlton, he's kicked it straight to, and he's done the ultimate sin the other end of the oval. The Duddits hasn't been able to hold it, but there's an opportunity for South. Oh, they can raffle it there, the South boys, and Leonard Wells has kicked a goal.
Wells was fed the handball from Bryant, came in, and one of those Eddie Betts along the ground goals, and South had back very quickly to reply to the Rangers' last goal.
Yeah, two I guess you say cardinal sins for backmen for both teams there, kicking across the face of goal, and young Will Charlton not being able to hit Ali Bias, and young Duddits or
Craig
Miller Capanieri was able to intercept the ball, get it on, and young Leonard Wells been able to finish the ball off and kick a goal. Holman wins the ball out of the middle.
Still at it, and for his effort was given a free kick for a high infringement. He's got the ball. He looks like to go with a big torp, and it's worked into the centre. Young Marshall, as in Cooper, grabs the ball, works it forward, taps it back to Wells. Wells to Bryant. Bryant a soccer across to Horton, who shoots on goal and misses to the left-hand side. So a point to South through that play.
Yeah, it was actually Tyson Pratt who got his foot on the ball there. It's a good soccer skills, and yeah, unfortunately for Horton, he pulled a little bit to the left. So, but he's had no lack of opportunity today, young Jake. So he's played a really good game. Ball's coming back in through Ali Bias, and he's been unopposed to bring it out. Shows the label to one of the South players.
Luke Stewart, that was. Yeah. Saw the label as he went past, and it's ended up in the centre of the ground, just to the grandstand side of the ground.
Really well done there by Cameron Akers, because if young Josh Bradford had got that, Marble Range were out again, but the ball's held up, and between Tyson Pratt and young Max Bartlett, they have a ball up. Bartlett wins the tap down, but it's straight down the throat of one of the South players. Casanova picks up a errant handball and bounces the ball forward, and Wilkins taps the ball on to Davis, who's tackled well by the South players, and they run out of the back line there too easily.
Speed kicks down the wing, finds Wells. Wells, with some of his silky skills, just gets around the player, moves it in, looking for Horton. Came to Duddits, who handballed it over to young Luke Stewart, who had a shot on goal and put it through. So it was a bit of easy work done through the work of the players from South.
You sold me down the river a bit there, Benj, because you haven't got young Luke Stewart's name on it for me, so I was wondering who that was.
I had to go back to the budget.
Fair enough.
You're not going to believe it, but young Camden Madden's had to hop his way back into the forward 50, suffering a attack of cramp. I don't know why. He hasn't really done much, has he?
No, you can't say he hasn't put in the effort today, because he's had more of the ball than just about anybody out there today. And South win the ball out of the middle, and young Rogowski hits it forward again, but young Price Marshall's come over the top and affected a good spoil in the left forward pocket for Lincoln South, right next to the hobbling Camden Madden, through probably too much of the ball. So I think that last goal certainly sealed the fate of Marble Range there, Benj. But
yeah, South have gone to 14-13-97 to the Rangers 7-7-49. So they've eaten back into the margin, and credit to them for the effort they've applied and put in. So
great work by Tommy Bradford there. He goes forward, and Hatson Manalis has got a couple of metres, but the ball just doesn't sit for him. And Max Williams done a really good job there. But he might be penalised here for pulling the ball back in, and he is, So you can't do that.
He dragged the ball back in, and unfortunately the umpire paid it against him, but Rangers take it forward to the top of the square. South are trying to clear. Ball comes out to Williams. He puts it on the boot. Didn't go the required distance, and the Marble Range player cuts it off.
And keeper Wilkins, and he kicks it in to Bradford, and Bradford kicks to Ali Bice, who's 45 out. I reckon he's probably just outside of his range, but he's definitely thinks he can go back and kick this goal to make it a little bit more respectable on the scoreboard. But young Thomas Bradford's gone down with a bout of the cramp because of probably the same sort of situations Camden had.
He's run hard and worked hard all day for the Rangers team. Ali brings it in. It's away to the left a bit, and it's still in play, and South ended up rushing it through from behind. So they've taken the kick in quickly. Williams looking out there for young Wells. He finds him. He looks back into the midfield. He finds Holman. Holman gets it on the boot.
They're out here.
Right down to the
that's a bit silly by young
line,
Dulles.
and the South player tried to obviously hit the ball out of the Marble Rangers' hands, but he's made high contact with the Ranger player, who will now receive his free kick and move the ball on.
So Patrick Ryan, and that's quite interesting how he can come in from the side like that. But anyways, play on.
Yeah.
Young Wells and Foster are contesting the ball, and Charlton's got an opportunity to take young Speed on, but he wins the ball. Young Shay Udding contests the ball, and there's been a high tackle there on young Wells.
South will probably need to find a mark out of this kick to have a shot on goal, because the siren's just about to go. So
Casanova with a big leap there, but didn't seem to get his hands anywhere near the ball.
Cooper Marshall's fighting, gets the ball out to Horton. Horton on the boot and hits a post.
Well, I reckon he's about even with goals and behinds today. But when you're in a winning side and you've kicked that many goals, you're not going to complain about another behind. So young Caleb Fielder comes out, and young Dulles is getting a little bit undisciplined here. He's actually given away a free kick after disposal. But there it is. Lincoln South have come through and have won the game. The 2019 premiers.
Yes, the Lincoln South under 17 teams run out premiers for the 2019 season. 14-13-97 to 7 goals 8 to the Marble Range team, 50 points. So South have played well as a team all year under the guidance of first year coach Swain Ackland, who is one of the A-grade players, and credit to his band of merry helpers that have helped him through the season. His team manager, his runners, his assistants, his water boys have all done a massive team thing, and they've pulled off the 2019 premiership for the Lincoln South team.
Yeah, congratulations to Lincoln South on that, and the Marble Range boys can't be ashamed of their effort today. They fought hard. They've come from 4th position to be playing in this premiership today and given themselves an opportunity, and well done to Boyd West for actually coaching these boys this year. And our thoughts go out to him and his family, especially with his father in Melbourne, who's gone through some serious medical condition this year and had to have a lung transplant. But all credit goes to the Lincoln South team, coaching staff, and the club for actually going through this year and only losing one game.
Yeah, and that game was to Tasman, surprisingly, who was the first team that the Rangers eliminated to make their way here today. So the Rangers, unfortunately, probably their dream didn't come true today, but they've put up a sterling performance, and hats off to the Marlborough Range squad and their supporters that are all here supporting them throughout the day. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for them, but yep, definitely hats off to what they've achieved throughout the finals this year. So
Yeah, that's for sure, Ben. Yep. Anyway, that's it, folks. 14-13, 97 Lincoln South defeated Marlborough Range 7-8-50. Congratulations.
Thank you.